Hi everyone, welcome to our first episode of Designer Friends. I'm Tanner. I am the lead designer of Crawford Street Designs in Marietta, Georgia, and we are a group of creative people who really enjoy sharing that gift of kind of vision and leadership that we've been given with our community, with our clients, and our family and friends, and with you guys. So we started this series because we have a literal note section in our phone that says, things that we really feel like we want to tell people just coming at you as your friends who do design. These are things we want you to know. These are things that we want you to consider. We want to challenge you with. We want to encourage you with. We want to warn you with. We wanted to, like I said, just be your friend. Here to give you sound, solid advice from our experiences in all things design. So today's episode is about embracing your fears. So actually, this is one of the very first questions that we ask every client before we even go into a project, big or small. What are your hesitations? What are your fears? And a lot of times people don't even realize that they were afraid to kind of acknowledge them. It's funny because just human nature, we don't like to talk about bad things. We think about them, but we don't like to say them out loud or speak about them. So we find that like when we actually bring up, like, what are you scared of? What intimidates you the most about this? People actually are very hesitant to talk about, like, I don't know, what if everyone in the neighborhood hates what I did? What if people make fun of me? What if I do this and I spend all this money and then it's not what I like? And, there are different levels of fears and hesitations. And, like we talked about, there's different levels of projects. So it's always, sometimes if you're talking about your fear is that you won't like the color of painting your powder bathroom, it's okay because you can repaint, right? But when you're talking about choosing an all-over brick or a tile that's going to go in multiple locations in your new construction build, these are things that honestly we have heard and seen and experienced ourselves. People lose sleep over putting so much thought into this. So embrace those fears and actually talk them through with someone. We want our clients to say, this is kind of what we lean towards or whatever, but this is what we're afraid of. Tell us what you're afraid of. Expand on that, even in your own mind. Embrace that. Are you afraid that maybe in a few years you might change your mind? Why might you change your mind? Could you repurpose this room for a new use? Would you be selling the house? All these things come into play when you are deciding and making decisions. But when you expand on those fears, when you actually sit down, talk through those fears, you actually usually end up giving yourselves parameters to make the right decisions. So then you realize that those fears were warranted because they were meant to lead you to the correct choice for that project. So that's what we wanted to tell you guys is don't be afraid to acknowledge what you're afraid of before your project starts. And don't be afraid to kind of, expand on why that might be a fear and how you could talk to someone or, really be intentional in making sure that fear doesn't become a reality. And this doesn't mean that you should lose sleep over like thinking about your fears, guys. What it means is your fears don't have to and probably will not become your reality. So if you just go ahead and acknowledge that, you'll actually usually find that your selections will dwindle down because you don't want blank to happen or you don't want to go down blank path. So again, as your designer friends, acknowledge your fears, talk them through, and that will probably actually help you out in the long run. Okay, guys, subscribe for more designer friend talks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.